So a few weeks ago on the Beyond the Chair podcast, Ron Legend said that he has the best blades on the market. Now, that is a very bold claim, guys. When you're talking about blades, a lot of people make blades. A lot of people make modified, preset, diamond coated, like all these other fancy things, gold, black, graphite, whatever. Ron Legend claims that he has the best blade. As you see here, I have my care package from none other than Ron Legend himself. So let's see what's in this care package. Obviously, there's more than the blade. This is pretty heavy. So let's see what he. Jeez. There we go. Man, do I need to get back in the gym? Whew. So this item right here, the Edge Up Like a Legend, the Ron Legend blade. So if you go listen to that podcast, we talked about the old school T-Outliner blades and what made them so good and what's the difference with these new blades. But what he said is with this blade here is you're gonna get the best of both worlds. You're gonna get the old school reliability and the whatever they did back in the day. Just go listen to the podcast. But you're gonna get some of the new school feel with this blade. So without further ado, let's take a quick peek here. Let me look here. So it comes pretty much zero gap. It's not completely flush, but it's actually exactly how I like my blades to be set. Kudos and shout out to Ron for that. I don't know if all of his blades come preset like this, but if it does, shout out to Ron Legend. So that means that saves me some time. So I'll give you guys a quick look. It's not so flush. You could probably see that there. It's not too flush, but it's just perfect. This is exactly the way I like it. I'm gonna put these on some clippers and see how these Jones hit. Allow me to explain my struggle that I've had with my blades. It's really hard sometimes for you to get a pair of T-Outliners to hit the way you really want them. I have modified and set blades myself. I've used the 1 minute modifier with the various assortment of blade setters. It took me a while to actually get them to hit where I really want them. Now that my trimmers are hitting the way I want them, I'm really curious to see how Ron Legend's blade stacks up to those. So let's get these on some clippers, shall we? The clipper that we'll be using, the T-Outliner Blackout Edition. So let's get these on here and see what we're working with. Let me open these. These are brand new. And if you listen to the podcast, you would have heard that Ron Legend said you do not need to mess with the tension. All you have to do is basically plug and play. Just slap it on and you're good to go. So as you see, fresh out of the box, brand new Blackout T-Outliner trimmer. Just to let you guys know, once I hit 20K subscribers on YouTube, I will be doing the biggest giveaway in YouTube history. You do not want to miss this giveaway, so share this channel. Do not forget to subscribe to get me to 20K, and you're going to be involved in one of the biggest YouTube giveaways in history. I don't think I've ever seen a giveaway this big. If you go listen to the podcast with Ant the Barber, you will see what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it, but just go listen to the podcast. First, we need to take off these 2 screws. 1 screw down, another screw down. So now we're left with this blade, and now you put the new one right on. So let me just tighten this up, and then we'll get it on and cracking. I'm curious. Very bold claim by Ron Legend that these are the best. He said he's seen them all, he's tried them all. And I'm actually really happy that you don't have to mess with the tension, because that's where a lot of people mess up their T-Outliner blades, is screwing around with the tension. And you do it so much and you forget where the tension actually was. But as you can see there, boom, pretty easy. Looks weird with a Blackout trimmer with a regular T-Outliner blade on it, but it's kind of cool. What do you guys think? It's kind of cool. Got the black screws on there, but more importantly, outside of the looks, let's see how this thing hits. Now that I've got the blade on, I'm gonna turn it on and see how it sounds. Everything looks good. Let me oil them real quick. One thing I look for with the T-Outliner is that classic sound, that classic crunch, that when you're edging up. Like, that's the sign that you know you have some that hit really well. Now, according to Ron, these versus blades that have been modified and things like that, because I've noticed with modified blades, it's really rough on the skin trying to bald people out. But he said you should be able to bald out with these, line up with these, everything, which I don't recommend that you guys bald out with a trimmer, but we're gonna put these to the test. I'm really curious. Okay. Breaking news. Stop the video. Just listen to me. I put these on and I was like, oh, damn. These were really sharp, or however they came from Ron, they were really sharp. I tried it on my arm. You know, like most barbers, you try them on your arm and then, you know, you just to see how sensitive. Look, this thing done hit my arm up. So I was like, oh hell no, I can't do that. Can't put my customers through that experience. So what I did was, I was like, all right. So I was like, all right, let me use my 10-second blade setter on the money joint. So I used this to reset them, and now they seem to be doing pretty good. It's not as aggressive. This is a GTX Gold blade, but look at the difference there in these blades, like how thick the GTX blade is versus this blade. This blade is a lot thinner than the GTX blade. And not only that, but this blade versus the Blackout blade, which is a regular T-outliner blade, as you see, it's not a deep tooth, but you could see here that this blade is thin. It's like slightly thinner than the Blackout blade or the regular T-outliner blade. I've noticed that when I looked at them and put them side to side, it's slightly thinner, which that might make a difference in performance. I've noticed with blades, the thinner the blade is, the harder it hits, so stay tuned. Test number one, we're gonna test out Ron's blades to see how well they bald out and how well they'll take down some hair. Again guys, I don't recommend you bald out with trimmers, but this is just for the sake of the video. Test number two, we're gonna test out Ant the Barber's theory. He says he balds out with Slimline Pro LIs and he loves them. I don't know how, because this blade is so thin. Just look, this blade is a lot smaller than this one, and this blade is a lot smaller than a 5-out. Look at that. I don't recommend using these because they're tiny, but let's see how well they ball out. Ooh, Ant, Ant, you hear that? Ant, you hear that? I'm gonna try that one more time. And I don't know. Let's go this way. I don't know, Ant. I don't know. Let me try it upside down. Let's see. It's bogging down. Test number three: a detachable blade clipper with a 5-0 blade. It's 0 gapped. And this is what I typically bald out with. So let's see what we're working with. Boom. Boom. Nothing like a detachable, guys. It's been about a week that I've had using this clipper solely. I put all of the other trimmers away and I've forced myself to use this trimmer, and that is it. I didn't use anything else. The observant viewer would know that you don't have the Ron Legend blade on there. Yes, I know. I have the original Blackout blade on, and I use the 10-second blade setter that I also use with this, but I want to test the theory to see if this stock blade can perform the same as this or the equivalent of my modified blades. I just want to see if there's a big difference between a stock blade that you just 0 gap versus Ron Legend's blade that he claims to be the best on the market. Next test is the edge up. been a week and now I can draw a really good conclusion based on everything that I've gathered using Ron Legend's blade. Now, I exclusively use them for a week on everything because the way my trimmers are set, I have them set to where I use certain trimmers on certain type of people, certain trimmers on other type of people. If you guys didn't know, my trimmers are racist. They real racist. Like these right here with the gold blades, these only work well on white people. Some black people, not all, but these trimmers right here, these trimmers love white people. Oh, you probably see Big Al right there, you know, watching the Big Al vlog. You know, I couldn't pause it because, you know, we got to get Big Al's watch time up. So you know what I'm saying, got to support my fellow YouTube barbers, you know what I'm saying? And the Big Al, hey, if I get a copyright because I'm showing your video in the background, Al, you got to put your hands up. I'm gonna be coming for you. I'm gonna be like, Big Al, you gonna copyright me for showing your video? Now, if you looked at them blades when I first got them, if you looked at my arm, those things not only hit like Mike Tyson, that thing's bit like Mike Tyson. Now, I like mine to hit, but man, whew, I had to back them off. So I've had regular T-Outliner blades that have been zero gapped. I've had T-Outliner blades that have been modified and adjusted and the tension messed with, all that little nonsense. And now that I've gotten a chance to try Ron Legend's blades, a blade that comes from somewhere, you know, they do whatever they do to it and then you don't have to do anything. So I've seen all ends of the spectrum here. So what I've gathered is this, it's left me with a few takeaways. Takeaway number one, when you look at the price, Ron's blades are around 40 bucks. The price of you getting a 1-minute blade modifier and a 10-second blade setter comes to around 40 bucks. So what you could do is, hey, you could buy a Ron Legend blade or you can get a 1-minute blade modifier and do it yourself. Now, the other thing is, hey, you could just zero gap it yourself. You saw in the footage there which one performed better. Now, through my findings of using them for a week, and like I said, I used the stock blade for about a day to get a good baseline as to what works better. Is the regular blade better or is Ron's better? Based on my comparisons of all three. So what I've gathered was this. I've noticed with Ron's blade, it doesn't bald out that great. I noticed when I put the stock blackout blade on, it balded out really well. It went through the hair. Ron Legend's blade, it sort of felt like a modified blade in the sense where it doesn't bald out very well because it doesn't glide over the skin that well. I noticed that. It can bald out, but it's a little bit extra work. I noticed once I just zero gapped the stock blackout blade, it balded out really well. I don't know if Ron Legend's blade has to break in. That might be the case because I've noticed that even with my modified blades that they had to be broken in a little bit before I can really start balding out really well with them. Now the real comparison is, should you get a modified blade or should you buy a blade that is like Ron Legend's or, you know, from someone else? My opinion is it wasn't too far off. They were really close, so close in fact that it's really hard to tell. And the reason I say that is this. The performance that I've seen out of the modified trimmers that I done, they perform just as well as Ron's, if not better. In my case, my modified blades, it took me hours to get them set. So that being said, after me modifying, after me setting them, after me tweaking with them for hours, I mean literally, I've spent hours trying to get these things to hit just the way I like them. Take into account all of that, they should perform just as good as Ron Legend's blades. They should, right? And they do. In my opinion, it's really up to you what you want to do. You can buy Ron Legend's blade and put it on and be good to go, or you can modify them, set them, blah, 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 work it that way, and they can work really well. Now let me speak to all the broke people out there that don't even want to spend the money. Could you just get your stock blade to hit really well? Yeah, you can. You really can. Just adjust them and they can hit well enough. They're not gonna be like just as good as some modified blades or some blades that have been like customized, but they can hit really well for you. And that's what I've noticed after me using the regular T-Outliner blade, the blackout blade, and it performed okay. I noticed there are certain areas where, man, my modified blades would just go through this. Now, I don't know if that's because it's just a regular T-Outliner blade and not a deep tooth, because I prefer deep tooth blades. Maybe that was it. But all in all, would I say buy the Ron Legend blade? yeah, buy it. Or if you want to buy one minute blade modifier or modify it yourself some way and then set them, do it that way. I hope that could help anyone make the decision on whether you want to buy a Ron Legend blade or anyone else's blade. Buy the 1 minute blade modifier in the 10-second blade setter, or just run the regular stock T-Outliner blade. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna get back to watching some Big Al. It's been your man, I Do It Barber, signing out, and I'll holla.